Dear students, today I teach you Gauss law in point form. Gauss law in point form. First we should understand the significance of Gauss law in point form or its need. Gauss law in integral form has got certain drawbacks. The drawback being selection of closed surface. Gauss law in the integral form is psi is equal to q. This implies closed surface integral vector d dot ds is equal to volume integral of rho v dv. So psi is closed surface integral of vector d dot ds. S is some closed surface. Rho v is the volume charge density inside the volume bounded by the closed surface. The implementation of equation 1 depends upon the selection of the Gaussian surface yes. We should select the Gaussian surface so that vector D is either normal or tangential to it. Gauss law in the integral form is stated by equation 1. The success of Gauss law depends upon the selection of surface S, known as Gaussian surface. We have to select Gaussian surface so that vector D is either tangential to the surface or normal to the surface. If vector D is tangential to the surface, this integral will vanish. If vector D is normal to the closed surface, then the integral will give you a finite result. Selection of Gaussian surface is not possible for all charge configurations. The alternative is Gauss law in point form. So let me teach you now Gauss law in point form. Gauss law in point form has an advantage. It is computationally more efficient than Gauss law in the integral form. Gauss law in point form is computationally more efficient than the integral form. This is an advantage. Drawback of integral form is selection of Gaussian surface for all configurations. It's not possible. Now I'll go to Gauss law in point form. Gauss law in point form. Let me take an elemental volume which is a cube of sides delta x, delta y, delta z. Delta x, delta y, delta z. This is x axis, this is y axis, this is z axis. Or I'll take the coordinate system to be a generalized one. What I will do is I'll take a generalized coordinate system. This is x-axis. In the previous case, I took the origin at one of the corners. Now we'll take a generalized one, x, y, z. Delta x is the length parallel to x-axis. Delta y is the length of the elemental volume parallel to y-axis. Delta z is the length parallel to z-axis. P is the midpoint of the volume, which is having the coordinates x0, y0, z0. I am going to pen it down now. Let us consider a differential volume. Delta V equal to delta x into delta y into delta z, as shown in the figure. In fact, differential volume is taken to be a cube. With P x0, y0, z0 being its midpoint. The components of electric flux density, the components of electric flux density vector D, is as shown in the figure. I'll write the components. First I'll take the front face. This is the front face. This is the component perpendicular to front face. It is coming out of the front face. This is the component entering the back face of the cube. The component entering the back face is dx. The component coming out of the front face is dx plus something. What is that something? What is the variation of dx in the x direction? Variation of dx in the x direction is dou dx by dou x. Dou dx by dou x gives the variation of dx along the x direction per unit length. So dou dx by dou x gives the variation of dx per unit length. Into what is the distance between the back face and the front face? It is delta x. So multiply by delta x. Rule of 3. Cost of 10 mangoes is 10 rupees. What is cost of 5 mangoes? 10 by 10. So cost of 1 mango multiplied by number of mangoes. Similarly, dou dx by dou x gives the variation of dx per unit length in the x direction. Then multiply that variation by the distance between the back face and the front face, which is delta x. Now I'll take the variation in y direction. This is flux density vector coming out. This is entering. Entering in the y direction is dy. Coming out of The right face is dy plus. What is variation per unit length in y direction? It is dou dy by dou y is variation of dy per unit length in y direction multiplied by what is the distance between the left face and the right face? It is delta y. Similarly, this is dz. dz is entering the bottom face. dz plus something is coming out of the top. What is something coming out? dz plus dou dz by dou z into delta z. Dou z, dz, dou dz by dz gives the variation in the variation per unit length in z direction multiplied by the distance between the bottom face and the top face. So vector D has components as shown in this figure. There are 6 components. Each of the component is perpendicular to one of the faces of the elemental cube. Now I am going to apply Gauss law to this surface. In fact, I want to find what is the net flux coming out of this elemental volume. With the convention or notation, flux entering is negative, flux coming out is positive. We shall find the net flux coming out of this differential volume, by assuming the flux coming out to be positive, while the flux entering as negative. The net flux coming out of this elemental volume is closed surface integral vector d dot ds is equal to, this closed surface integral is made up of 6 open surface integrals. Vector d dot ds for front face, integral vector d dot ds for the back face, integral d dot ds for right face, integral d dot ds for left face, integral d dot ds for top face, integral d dot ds for bottom face. Let us evaluate these integrals one by one. First I will evaluate this. To the front face, which is the flux density vector, which is normal, this one, dx plus dou dx by dou x into delta x. Multiply that by area of the front face, which is what? Delta y into delta z. So it is what? Dx plus dou dx by dou x into delta x multiplied by the area of the front face, which is delta y delta z. This is plus because this component is coming out, or net flux is coming out. Next, evaluate the second integral. Minus sign because flux is entering, or dx is entering the volume through the back face. So minus, what is dx? What is the component of vector d? Perpendicular to back face, it is dx. multiply that by the area of the back face, which is delta y delta z. Next I come to third integral evaluation. Plus, to right face, this is the component which is perpendicular. Take that component, the component is coming out, therefore it is positive. Dy plus dou dy by dou y into delta y multiplied by the area of the right face, which is delta x into delta z. Minus because dy is entering the left face. Minus dy into area, which is delta x into delta z. Plus, I will go to the evaluation of the fifth integral. So consider top face. To top face, this is perpendicular. Multiply that component by the area of the top face, which is delta x into delta y. So it is plus dz plus dou dz by dou z into delta z multiplied by delta x delta y. Minus because dz is entering the volume through the bottom face. Minus dz into area, which is delta x delta y. Now remove the brackets, so you get dou dx by dou x plus dou dy by dou y plus dou dz by dou z multiplied by delta x into delta y into delta z. We now define divergence of vector D as the net flux coming out of the differential volume delta V divided by delta V as the volume delta V shrinks to zero. As the volume delta V shrinks to zero. What have written? We now define divergence of vector D as the net flux coming out of the differential volume delta V divided by delta V as the volume delta V shrinks to zero. Mathematically, this I will call equation number 2. Mathematically, divergence of vector D written as del dot vector D is equal to closed surface integral vector D dot ds, which gives the net flux coming out of this elemental volume divided by elemental volume. As the elemental volume shrinks to zero, means elemental volume becomes point P. That's what it means mathematically. Shrinks to zero means take the limit delta V tending to zero. If you take the limit delta V tending to zero, the elemental volume becomes the point P, which is the midpoint of the volume. This I will call equation 3. Substituting equation 2 in equation 1 gives divergence of vector D is equal to limit delta V tending to 0 dou dx by dou x plus dou dy by dou y plus dou dz by dou z into delta x delta y delta z divided by delta V. In fact, this is nothing but delta V. Therefore, delta V gets cancelled out. So this gives you dou dx by dou x plus dou dy by dou y plus dou dz by dou z. This is the expression for divergence of vector D in Cartesian coordinate system. This I call equation 4. Equation 4 gives the expression for divergence of vector D in a Cartesian coordinate system. Cartesian coordinate system. Similarly, in cylindrical and spherical coordinate systems we have divergence of vector D. First I will write cylindrical. First variation in row direction, 1 by rho, dou by dou rho operating on rho into d rho. This gives variation in row direction, plus 1 by rho dou d phi by dou phi gives variation in phi direction, plus dou dz by dou z gives variation in z direction. So this is in a cylindrical coordinate system. This is in a cylindrical coordinate system. And divergence of vector D in spherical. First I will write variation in r direction. What it is? 1 by r square dou by dou r operating on r square into dr. Next, variation in theta direction, 1 by r sin theta dou by dou theta operating on sin theta into d theta. Next, variation in phi direction, 1 by r sin theta dou d phi by dou phi. This is in spherical coordinate system. This is a spherical coordinate system. So these expressions you have to memorize, because by doing problems you may require these equations. So now I explained to you how to get expression for divergence of vector D in a Cartesian coordinate system, and then I explained by following a similar logic how the expressions in cylindrical and spherical coordinate systems, without proving them, I have written. But you have to memorize expressions for divergence of vector D in all three coordinate systems. Now I will go to Gauss law in point form. According to Gauss law, net flux coming out of the differential volume. Differential volume is a closed surface. Differential volume is equal to charge enclosed. Charge enclosed is taken as Q. That is, closed surface integral vector D dot ds is net flux coming out equals Q charge enclosed. We know that divergence of vector D is equal to limit delta V tending to 0, closed surface integral vector D dot ds divided by delta V. Now I will make use of this expression over here, which implies divergence of vector D is equal to limit delta V tending to 0, Q divided by delta V. Q divided by delta V, as the limit delta V tends to 0, gives volume charge density at point P, where rho V is the volume charge density at point P. Hence, I don't remember the equation number, I just call it as equation A. Hence, equation A is rightly called Gauss law in point form. in point form. Since divergence of vector D contains partial derivatives, equation A is also known as Gauss law in differential form. Gauss law in differential form. In wave propagation, equation A is more popularly known as Maxwell's equation in point form as derived from Gauss law. And this equation A is valid both for static electric fields and time varying electric fields. Static electric field means charges are not functions of fields produced by charges at rest, or charge distribution is not a function of time, and fields produced by such charge distributions will give you static electric fields. Time changing electric field means electric fields produced by charges which are functions of time. I am going to pen it down what I have said. More popularly, equation A is known as Maxwell's equation in point form as derived from Gauss law. Correct? Equation A is valid for both static and time varying electric fields. Very, very important observation. Electric fields. Next we shall go to a very important theorem called divergence theorem. Let us consider a closed surface S. This is a closed surface S. Charges are distributed. See, we have got actually a volume V bounded by this closed surface. I am going to write, let us consider a volume V bounded by a closed surface, as shown in the figure. Let charges be distributed. Inside this volume with a density rho V coulombs per meter cube. So volume charge density is what? Rho V. Let us take a small elemental surface ds. An cap is unit vector normal to ds and it is out of the elemental surface. A small elemental volume delta V is also taken. These are the flux lines coming out of the closed surface. The electric flux psi coming out of the closed surface S is psi is equal to closed surface integral vector d dot ds is equal to q Q is what? Volume integral of rho v dv. I call this as equation 1. Gauss law in point form is divergence of D is equal to rho v. I call this as equation 1. I'll replace rho v in equation 1 by divergence of vector D. I'm going to write substituting equation 2 in equation 1, we get closed surface integral vector D dot ds is equal to volume integral divergence of D dv. Equation 3 is the mathematical statement of divergence theorem and is used for converting closed surface integral into a volume integral. Equation 3 gives the mathematical statement of divergence theorem and is used for converting a closed surface integral into a volume integral. This is about divergence theorem. Next we'll do a problem. Given vector D is equal to x square into ax cap plus xy into ay cap plus yz into az cap coulombs per meter square. Verify the divergence theorem for a cube of side equal to 1 meter. Assume origin is at one of the corners of the cube. Very important problem. Please note that coefficient of ax cap is dx, coefficient of ay cap is dy, coefficient of az cap is dz. So we have, what is dx? Dx is x square. What is dy? Xy. And what is dz? Yz. Again repeat, coefficient of ax cap is x square, coefficient of ay cap is xy, coefficient of az cap is yz. These coefficients are respectively dx, dy and dz. Now I will draw an elemental cube of side equal to 1 meter. X, Y, Z. All sides are of length equal to 1 meter. This is the origin 0, 0, 0. 1 meter, 1 meter, 1 meter. The divergence theorem is closed surface integral vector D dot ds is equal to volume integral of divergence of D dv. This I will call equation 1. First, to evaluate LHS of equation 1. Evaluate LHS of equation 1. Closed surface integral vector D dot ds is equal to, it comprises of 6 open surface integrals. Vector D dot ds for front face. Integral vector D dot ds for back face. Integral vector D dot ds for right face. Integral vector D dot ds for left face. integral d dot ds for top face. Integral d dot ds for bottom face. Flux entering is negative, flux leaving is positive. Convention is flux entering equals positive, flux entering is negative, flux leaving is equal to positive. This is the convention we are going to adopt while solving the problem. At the front face, right face and top face, flux is leaving. At the back face, left face and bottom face, flux is entering. So equals now double integral. What is d here? Dx into ax cap. What is dx? X square. Dot. What is d vector ds? It is dy into dz. This is nothing but dsx into ax cap. Y varies from 0 to 1. Z varies from 0 to 1. Front face is at x is equal to 1 meter. This is plus because flux is leaving the front face. Minus because flux is leaving the back face. This now I will evaluate second integral. It's again a double integral. Y varies from 0 to 1. Z varies from 0 to 1. Dx into ax cap dot dy dz into ax cap. Minus sign because flux is entering. The back phase is at x is equal to, x is equal to 0. Then plus, I am going to evaluate the third integral, double integral. For the third integral, what is vector d? It is dy into ay cap dot. To the right face, what is the area of the right face? It is dx into dz. This is in fact dsy. Unit vector is ay cap. Plus sign because flux is leaving. The front face is at y is equal to 1 meter. Minus sign when we evaluate the fourth integral. This one. Double integral. Here x varies from 0 to 1. Y varies from 0 to 1. Minus double integral. X and z varying from 0 to 1, dy ay cap dot dx dz into ay cap. The left face is at y equal to 0. Next I will evaluate the fifth integral. Plus double integral dz into az cap dot. What is the area of the top face? It is dx into dy. This is nothing but dsx into unit vector az cap. X varies from 0 to 1, y varies from 0 to 1. The top face is at z equal to 1. Minus double integral x varying from 0 to 1, y varying from 0 to 1, dz into az cap dot dx dy into az cap. The bottom face is at z equal to 0. So this equals now ax cap dot ax cap is 1. Double integral. Limits are from 0 to 1. What is dx? Dx is what? X square. Dy dz at x is equal to 1 minus double integral. Limits from 0 to 1 for both the integrals. X square dy dz evaluated at x equal to 0 plus what is dy? Dy is xy. Dy is what? Xy into dx dz evaluated at y equal to 1 minus double integral limits from 0 to 1. What is dy? Xy into dx dz evaluated at y equal to 0 plus double integral x varying from 0 to 1. What is dz? Dz is yz. Yz into dx dy evaluated at z equal to 1 minus double integral x varying from 0 to 1, y varying from 0 to 1, yz dx dy evaluated at z equal to 0 equals. When you put x equal to 1, 1 square is 1. So 1 square, when you put x equal to 1, if you integrate dy, you get y, limits from 0 to 1. If you integrate dz, you get z from 0 to 1. If you put x equal to 0, this integral will vanish, it becomes 0. Put y equal to 1. If you put y equal to 1, you get x. X, if you integrate, you get what? X square by 2, limits from 0 to 1. Dz, if you integrate, you get z from 0 to 1. If you put y equal to 0, this integral will vanish, so minus 0. If you put z equal to 1, you are left with y. If you integrate y, you get y square by 2, limits from 0 to 1. If you integrate dx, you get x from 0 to 1. If you put z equal to 0, the last integral will be 0. So if you put limits here, this becomes 1. If from here you get half, from here you get half. Last integral is 0. From here you get half. So 1 plus half is 2 coulombs. This is what you get when you evaluate the left hand side of divergence theorem. Next we will evaluate the right hand side of divergence theorem. To evaluate right hand side of divergence theorem. Right hand side of divergence theorem. Divergence of D is what? Divergence of D is dou dx by dou x plus dou dy by dou y plus dou dz by dou z equals dou by dou x. What is dx? Dx is x square plus dou by dou y. What is dy? xy plus dou by dou z operating on dz. What is dz? dz is yz. If you differentiate x square with respect to x, you get 2x. This is x and this is y. So you get 3x plus y. What is right hand side of divergence theorem? Volume integral divergence of D dv. Volume integral is a triple integral. X varying from 0 to 1, y varying from 0 to 1, z varying from 0 to 1. Divergence of D is what? 3x plus y. What is dv? dx, dy, dz. In a Cartesian coordinate system, what is dl1? dx. What is dl2? dl2 is dy. What is dl3? dz. So what is dv? dv is nothing but dl1 into dl2 into dl3. That gives us dx, dy, dz. That is why I have written dv as dx, dy, dz. Split this into two integrals. First integral is 3x dx, dy, dz plus second integral y dx, dy, dz. Integrate 3x, you get 3 into x square by 2, limit 0 to 1. dy if you integrate y, between 0 and 1. dz if you integrate, you get z from 0 to 1. dx if you integrate, you get x from 0 to 1. y if you integrate, y square by 2, between 0 and 1. dz if you integrate, you get z from 0 to 1. So this gives 3 by 2. Second integral gives half. So 3 by 2 plus half is 2 coulombs. So divergence theorem statement is verified. Please note that evaluation of volume integral is much more easier than evaluation of surface integral. Therefore, whenever a surface integration is given to you, convert that into a volume integral and then apply divergence theorem and solve the problem. Thank you.